MDs, this is only going to, I got a few things I want to share with you. You're about to see the USA Today poster, the COM poster, the Level Zero poster. I just read something out of a book this like 2 hours ago, a book that's not come out yet, that I have to share with you because it's going to give you the chills all over your body. And then two things I want to share with you. One is what we talked about on Dream Team Call, an element of it that all of you need to hear, and a conversation I had with Sika late at night that I think everybody here will benefit from. And you'll see here in a minute why that is. Now, let's get right into a few different things. Obviously, we made the announcement Sunday, craziness. Everybody went insane. I've been doing strategy calls with a lot of different people. Everyone's calling. Unity, MSM, TGA, they're all running for 4,000. One of them is going to be the first to do it. The first who does it gets the 2 Rolexes. We already know all the details with the 2,000, which is what WTP wants to do. TCO today, they said they're going for 750. Hart said they're going for 1,000. I think Don and Kilroy are going for 15. I think 1.5 million. Anyways, a lot of you, what I was most impressed with, that night, I communicated with maybe 300 people on Instagram. And let me tell you how I did it. Everybody that took the video of that update that night, I messaged them right afterwards. You ready to do the impossible? You ready to do the impossible? I communicated with 300 plus people in PHP till 2 o'clock in the morning. You may want to ask them. I'm sure many of them took screenshots and texted to you because I know how important this month is. Before I share with you a few things, I want you to be thinking about this. Every once in a while, a month shows up that you must capitalize because on the other end of the month of you coming through is a person you've never met before, which is the newer version of you. Okay, that almost rhymed, by the way. There's a reason for it. I cannot wait to meet the newer version of you on the other side. I can't wait to meet the new version of Hart, Sapalas, TCO, the Lomelis, the Sikas, the Gaines. I can't wait to meet the other side of Hiram. I can't wait to meet the other side of Lee, and Manny and Susie, Medina. I can't wait to see the other side of those guys. That's what I'm excited about seeing, right? However, prior to getting into it and me sharing with you some of the things I want to share with you about, let me first kind of show you when I looked at the leaders bulletin, who's leading right now for the month. Okay, Gaitan's the number 1 net VP right now, net VP with 21.5 for the first 2 days. Then it's Ricky and Erica, number 2. Then it's Palayo, number 3. Then it's Hart, number 4. Sapalas, number 5. Gain 6, Diana and Kilroy, Vargas, number 8. Then it's Delvine, number 9. Then it's Marroquin, number 10. Del Toro's are 11, by the way. You got Mason, some other names. Hierarchy-wise, Gaitan's first place. Then it's Palayo. Then it's Del Toro, which, by the way, Del Toro's are nearly doubling WTP. They're going to do 2,002 million. WTP is going for 2,002 million. I know Del Toro's do very well when they're a flag carrier. They told me, Pat, I'm telling you, we are going to do our part to make sure TGA becomes the first to do 4 million, 4,000, because we're the best flag carriers in the company. We're going to see how that's going to look like. And then we got some other numbers. Now, when I look at Tico, the captains in recruiting for the month, this is what I'm noticing. We got Gaitan's at 3 for the base, and it's Palayo, Vargas, Sapalas at 2, Del Toro's at 0. In the council side, Ricky and Erica are at 14. Hart, Diana and Kilroy, Del Valle, all these names are on the board. These guys are not. On the VP side, you got Okafor at 6 with Lomeli. Good for Lomeli coming out the gates. Then you got Musgrove, Terrace, Ote. Terrace seemed like a very excited. Marcelo Castro, some of the other names. You guys are at 0. You got the SMD, MD, Medina at the top. Then it's Diaz, Cobb, Solis, Alvana, Blair. Then you got on the MD side, Saeed's at the top. Then it's Quanine. Quanine's telling me they're going to become an SMD, EMD. He's so excited right now. Then it's Rodin and Wilford. Then you got Tanora, LJ. Good for you, LJ. Then it's Alfonso and Maria. Then you got Bruno Castillo, Luan, De Jesus, McCoy, Thurston, Savali. Then it's the rest of the names. Now, some of you guys are, sitting there like, oh my God, I want to go and get this thing done and all this other stuff. First, let me show you some of these things that we have with the posters. This is what we're all running for. This is the USA Today. I'm going to get this poster. I'm going to go talk to my VP, my MD, whoever is running that office, be saying, when are we getting this poster on the wall? I want to look at this every day I come in to know I want my name to go in there with the 50-50. I want it to be 100 for a bigger font. 250. My picture's going in USA Today. Whatever you're doing, you got to get your picture to be in a USA Today. Then it's 500. Your Insta handle will be there. 750. Insta and phone number will be there. Million. You're part of the Millennium Club. You're going to Goldman Sachs headquarters with me to know what it feels like when these big money managers manage your money and you find out, hey, how can I participate in some of these IPO opportunities or different kinds of things? Because you're part of the family, you get opportunities. When you're part of the Goldman family, million, you get $1.5 million, you get the Breitling watch, and it's 2 million is above all of the above, then 3 million, 3,000. You go to the New York Stock Exchange, 4,000, 4 million. You come to Florida, we get on a jet, we go to New York, then we fly back, and we're having conversations on the way there. And we're taking that picture, and that picture is some picture that we're going to look at when we're in our 70s one day. And that picture is going to be in the book written about PHP one day. And here's what's going to happen for some of you guys. When this USA Today cover, that's going to be in the book when written about PHP. And many of you are going to say, man, I'm so glad I gave my best. And some of you guys are going to say, man, I don't know why I didn't give my best that month. So I want to manage expectations with you to help you give your best this month by a few things that I want to share with you. Now, that's the poster. Tico, they can find that poster in the back office, right, to get it done?
That is correct. It's going to be under marketing office posters. It'll be there for them.
Okay, fantastic. And then we also have the zero poster. This is how to qualify for level 0 for MD. Right. Must be an MD, rolling 50. Each month you do 10 minimum. You do that. Your 125 for forces go to 150. And the opportunity on your annuities goes higher. You already know that. Now you got to get the poster to put it in front of your face and your MDs so you can constantly capitalize off of all of that. So now that we have that, the baseball cards are on their way. The posters there, the compensation posters there, the 150 is there. All of that stuff is there. Now let me get into my messaging with you. So Greg sends me an email saying, Pat, look at the statistics in this book. And I said, which book? This new book that's coming out. It's not a book of the month because I've not read it yet, but it's a book that the title is going to be Plays Well with Others. The surprising science behind why everything you know about relationships is mostly wrong. What's he talking about? Well, let me read this one part to you, okay? Let me read this one part to you, and let's go through it together. Watch this. Let me make this bigger so you can see it. Here we go. We are all influenced by others. That's obvious. But the degree to which others affect our behavior can be hard to accept, especially in very serious areas where we'd like to think we're in charge. Okay, where's this guy going with this? Take your health, for example. The Framingham studies show that drinking, smoking, and obesity are all quite contagious. Wait, what? Drinking, smoking, and obesity are all contagious. All right. If someone you consider a friend becomes obese, your likelihood of obesity increases by 53%. What? 53%? Yes, if you have a friend that's obese, your likelihood is 53% that you're probably going to be obese as well. If the friendship is mutual, the number rises to 171%. This has nothing to do with genetics or like hangouts with when military families move to a new base with a higher obesity rate, their chance of gaining weight goes up. And these behavior contagion effects are seen 3 degrees out. Check this out. To quote Christakis and Fowler, who analyzed the data from Framingham study, you may not know him personally, but your friends, husbands, coworker can make you fat. Let me say that one more time. Your friend, you may not know him personally. You don't know this person, but your friends, husbands, coworker can make you fat. And your sisters, friends, boyfriend can make you thin. Why? Well, because if your friends, husbands, coworker doesn't take care of their health and they're obese, odds are your friend's husband isn't either. And that husband is rubbing off on the friend, and your friend is going to rub off on you. And if your sister's friend's boyfriend can make you thin, that means your sister's friend is in shape, and your sister's in shape, and odds are you're in shape. Pat, where are you going with this? Stick around. And it's not just health, it's also relationships. Divorce is contagious out to 2 degrees. So your sister friend's boyfriend can make you fat, and your sister's friends can end your marriage. Did your sibling have a baby? That means you're much more likely to have a kid in the next 2 years. Where's this guy going with this stuff? I mean, really? He says, if you want to know if your kids drink in college, never ask your kids, hey, son, are you drinking? Ask your friends, ask your kids, and find out, research, how many drinks do your kids' best friends have in college? That's probably how many they're drinking. Let me continue because this thing gets even more interesting. And let's not forget about happiness. Christakis and Fowler found that happy friends make you 15% more likely to be happy. Huh. And like obesity, this effect spans 3 degrees. Happy friends increase your odds of smiling by 10%. And friends of your friends of friends still add 6% to your chances. It's worth nothing that an extra $12,000 a year in 2021 dollars only increases your chance of happiness by 2%, with each friend boosting the likelihood of happiness by 9% and every unhappy friend reducing your odds by 7%. Making friends is like card counting for happiness. He continues to go explaining the power of influence people have over you. Pat, where are you going with this? I don't understand where you're going with this. Okay. So let me kind of break it down for you a little bit more. If you want to win at the highest level, maybe you ought to get on the Dream Team One call. Because on Dream Team One call, I don't know what it is. Everybody on Dream Team One call starts making money and their lives change. In the book, it says peer pressure isn't good or bad. It's all about who the peers are. Meaning, peer pressure is great if your peers are great. Peer pressure is bad if your peers are bad. This doesn't just apply to your kids. I got 4 kids. So I think about my kids. This applies to your husband, to your wife, and to you. Peer pressure. Huh. I don't understand this part. Okay, let me go a little bit deeper with this part. If one of your rabbits in your base shop goes and does 50-50 this month, other people in your base shop have to do the same. I remember I had to recruit one guy, never forget him, let's call him Tony. And I told him, I said, one day we're going to have 10 people doing 25 recruits in a month. He's like, man, you're so full of it. So what do you mean? He says, no one's going to do those kinds of recruits. The number one recruiting base shop in the company at the time was doing 33 recruits a month. Pat, what makes you think we're going to have 10? I said, I'm telling you, we're going to have 10 people doing 25 recruits. He says, not going to happen. I said, okay. So I realized he didn't believe in it. And he's not the guy for me to work with as a number one to help other people to believe that you can get 25 recruits done. So what do? Let me tell you what I do. I go and find another guy whose name is Ed Wade. And I tell him, same script I told the other guy. He says, I believe you. I said, great, let's go. You know what he does? He does 25 recruits in my base shop, back to back, 6-7 months in a row. You know what the other guy did that said that'll never happen? 2 months after he did 25, he did 25. You know how I hit 100 recruits? By getting my first guy to do that, and that peer pressure got everybody else to do 25. Then 10 became nothing. Then the first guy does 50. My first guy that did 50, let me tell you guys what I did in the base shop. His name was Nick. He did 57. When I went to Europe, I wrote, I think he did 57 or something like that. He did 75. He's the first guy that did 75. I had the picture till today. I went to Europe. I went to Spain. In Spain, I told Jen, take a video of me and a picture of me. I went in the beach of Spain, wrote a big heart, big, I'm talking like 20 feet heart. In the middle of it, I said, love Nick and Amy with the number 75. And I took the picture and the video and brought it back and showed it to everybody because I wanted other people to do 75. But at one point, I thought 10 was hard. Then I did 10. Then I got other people to believe 25 is not a big deal. Then 50, then 75. I started telling everybody, 100 recruits in a base shop is going to become nothing. People are like, you're out of your mind, because I was doing 100 recruits a month. There was a guy named Scott who we went to MD Academy together, okay? And him and I went to MD Academy together. Do you know, I get this, by the way, this was 18 years ago. I can tell you his phone number I haven't called this guy for probably 15 years. His name in the phone is probably Mr. 100. It may have not been here. So if it's not, I look like a fool right now if it's not in here. Let me, okay, it is. There you go. See if you can read it. Can you read it? Scott 100. Yep. You know why?
100.
I went to MD Academy. We did 28 recruits that month in the MD Academy. I had 32 recruits at the MD Academy. I said, we're going to do 100 recruits a month on the base shop like it's not a big deal. He starts laughing. You're crazy. No one's doing that. I said, how about I do this? I'm going to put that on your phone every time that you call me to remind you that this is what we're going to do. What do? We start doing 100 recruits. Like clockwork, everybody starts doing 100 recruits. Do you know how many people in PHP have done 100 recruits in a month? Maybe 100 people have done 100 recruits in a month. It's not a big deal. People are going to start making 20 grand every, oh my, you're out of your mind. Sheena, in 90 days, you're going to make $20,000. You'll never make less than $20,000. Pat, come on, Pat. Never make less than, hey, Sheena, in 90 days, you're going to get to 40,000. You'll never make less than 40. Come on, Pat. I'm telling you. And they've never made this kind of money. Sheena, in 90 days, you guys are going to go to 60. You'll never make less than 60. Come on, Pat. Sheena, you're about to go to $100,000. You'll never make 100,000. And it happens. Then other people say, oh, Sheena and Matt ran a $1 million point base shop. I'm running a $1 million point base shop. Oh, George became a chairman's counsel. I'm going to become chairman's counsel. Oh, Sheena and Matt ran a $1 million point base shop 3 years. I'm going to run it 3 years. Okay. Oh, Sheena and Matt got their $500,000 ring. I'm going to go get my $500,000 ring. Oh, Sheena and Matt became board counsels. I'm going to become board counsel. 3 days later, Gaitan said board counsel. By the way, okay. Oh, they're going to get the $1 million ring. I'm going to go get my $1 million ring. Then fast forward 5-6 people later, I think Rick and Eric are hitting the $1 million ring. I want to say this week, right? So what's the moral of the story here? Here's the moral of the story. If you hang out around complainers, and it's 5 of them, you're one of them. If you hang out around people that are like, there's no way in the world we're going to be able to hit these numbers for me to be in USA Today, you're one of them. If the people, the MDs, your sidelines you spoke to today, or your non-MDs that they're speaking to others, if they're saying, dude, there's no way in the world, our name's not going to be in there, the raffle, it'll never happen to me. That spirit is down. You, the leader, are in charge of the spirit of your family and your organization and your company. It's my job to inject the right spirit in Tico, Dylan, Senna, Brooklyn, and Jen. It's my job to inject that spirit. It's your job to inject that spirit. And this is all leading into what I talked about today on the Dream Team call. I said, so let me ask you a question. Someone's going to do 4,000, 4 million. Is it going to be TGA, Unity, MS? I don't know who's going to do it. Someone's going to do it though. Someone's going to do 2,000, 2 million. It's going to be Vargas, Conquistadors. Those guys have been competing for a long time. And by the way, WTP's past Conquistadors. They have not yet. Conquistadors out-recruited WTP last month. Oh, someone's going to finally do it. Hey, we don't. Hey, Sheena, Matt, Palayo, Sheena's calling out Palayo. All this about Palayo, you got to run a base shop. Really, Sheena? Last month, I want to say, Teak, if I'm not mistaken, last month's board councils, if you look at the leaders bulletin last month, let me pull this up. If I look at the leaders bulletin for last month, base recruiting, and we go here, I want to say Palayo did 103 recruits. Palayo as a board council out-recruited Vargas, out-recruited Gaitan, out-recruited a lot of their peers. Del Toro, I think they've even out-recruited Sheena Matt. Oh, right there.
Right there.
Yep. So someone's going to do it, right? Someone's going to go out there and take it up. Okay, now stay with me. We're having a conversation today, and this conversation that we're having, it's going to, hey, do you really believe that you can do, the numbers that you have in place that you can do? Hang on one second. I don't know why the Zoom disappeared all of a sudden. I got to bring it up. Tico, can you see me or no?
I can see you, Pat. Yep.
Okay. What do I do to bring it up? Let me go here. Oh, you're up here now on this screen. That's what just happened. Because now I got 3 screens they put in my new office. Can't wait to show you guys a new office, by the way.
I can't wait to see it.
Logo on both sides right now, by the way. It's pretty sick.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So let me show this to you guys. So here's how it works. In order for you to hit the goals that you put this month that you've never done before, 12,000 recruits, 15 million points. Oh my God. How the hell are we going to do this? Question for you. It's just you and I talking. You're probably watching this message in your car. Maybe you're in the bathroom in the office. Maybe you're driving, maybe your earpiece, you're in your office, nobody else is around you, but you're by yourself, just you and I talking. Do you believe you're going to do the impossible this month? Whatever the impossible is for you. The impossible for me running the company is, let's just say 12,000 recruits, $15 million. Okay. That's my driver of the top, right? The impossible for Unity, MSM, TGA may be what? 4,000, 4 million. The impossible for Conquistadors or Vargas may be 2,000, 2 million. For TCOSOs could be 1,000, 1 million. And we can go on. I mean, we got a couple of people today. Soli said, we're going to do 250 recruits and 250,000 points. Okafor said, game over. I'm doing 250, 250. The message Okafor sent to me yesterday, maybe one of the Tico, did you read Okafor's message? Maybe
I did.
I read by Okafor. So people, but I'm asking you, how confident are you going to hit the numbers that you're going to hit? Do you believe it? You sure? You remember, it's just you and I talking. This is not based. Nobody knows. It's you and I talking. Do you fully believe it? Or are you one that's more hoping that your team believes it, but maybe secretly you don't believe it? Well, let me take an opportunity at selling you why you ought to consider doing this. So what would I do if I'm running for this? What are some strategies I got to have to make sure I get this thing done? Well, if we just basic stuff, if we look at some basic numbers to give you strategy, here's how you got to look at it. Very basic strategies, nothing crazy. I'm going to give you basic numbers to run. Okay. All right. So if we know 10 recruits, let me make this bigger. Tico, I don't know if you can see this or not.
Yeah, I can see a clear bet.
Let me see if I can go like this. If we know, is it getting better?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So if we know 10 recruits equals 100 invitations, 100 recruits equals what? 1,000 invitations, okay, to BOM. 1,000 recruits equals what? 10,000 invitations.
Mm-hmm.
So now, oh my God, 10,000 invitations, Pat, how are you going to do that? Well, if I got 10,000 invitations for a month, I got 9 BOMs, including today. 10,000 divided by 9 is what? 1,200, let's just say, right?
Yep.
It's 1,100, okay. Equals 1,100, right? Divided by 9 equals 1,100 invites, okay? So that's 1,100 invites we need per BOM. If I got 5 VPs, okay, 1,100 divided by 5 is what? Roughly 220, okay? 220 per VP, okay? So many of you guys are going to be intimidated of hitting your number. Oh my God, 10,000 invites. It's not that much if you break it down. You know what I'm doing this month if I'm you, VPs, if you're paying attention? I'm going to look at my best month ever with the number of MDs getting 10 base recruits. I'm driving this. I'm trying to break my record in the most people getting 25 base recruits. I'm trying to beat the record of the most people getting 50 base recruits, 100 base recruits, 200 base recruits. And I'm counting on somebody to do 300 base recruits. I'm increasing the number of people most ever who got 1 personal recruit, most ever who got 2 personal recruits. I'm looking at these numbers. Then I'm looking at the numbers on formula on how many FAs I need to promote, okay? Maybe I got to promote 100 FAs by the 10th, okay? Because I want that strategy. But the key is belief only comes if there's a formula behind it, okay? You need the formula behind it. Now, let me continue. I'll give you the other part. The more important part after the belief is the why. Why is it important for you to do something you've not done before? I kind of talked about it briefly earlier. Why is it so important for you to do this? Who cares for you to do this? Everybody's got different motivations, but why should you do this? Why should you go out there and get this thing done? What's the motive behind you getting it done? Here's a few things I would tell you. There are many different reasons for different people, but I'll give you 3 of them. In life, how many people right now do you think are waiting for Elon Musk to fall? How many people you think are waiting for that? How many people you think are waiting to just, oh my God, I can't wait to get on. Okay. How many people are waiting for Giannis to fall? How many people are waiting for Johnny Depp? Oh, you see Johnny Depp? You see Johnny Depp? And they're watching his divorce case. Think about it. Okay. Billions of people get divorces, but people want to see Johnny Depp's divorce in court. Oh, look at Johnny Depp's divorce. Why? What are vultures doing? Okay. What do vultures do with presidents, with performers? But let me bring it to you. How many people you think are not in PHP who would love to see you not win at the highest level. You got any people like that? So I got a lot of people. I remember back in the days when we lost the first contract. Ooh, you don't even know how many people were going to my guys and say, oh, you know, Pat lost the contract, North America. You guys are going out of business. And Vultures showed up out of nowhere. Vultures are not good at recruiting new people. Vultures are what? They're famous for eating leftovers of the hunter. Like vultures typically follow lions. Why? Because lions hunt, they eat, they're full. Vultures show up and eat the leftovers of what the lions hunted. So vultures are not hunters. Lions are hunters. Vultures get the leftovers of what lions got. That's historical, what typically happens. Okay, where are you going with this, Pat? There's a lot of people that wanted to see us go out of business. A lot of them. I remember when I moved to Texas, all of a sudden, everybody was hitting up George, Jose, everybody. Ooh, let's go recruit because Pat left California. The monster's no longer here. Vultures showed up. Hey, any reason why this guy's calling me and that guy's calling me and this guy's, and everyone's calling me. And I'm like, oh, if 5 of my guys call me at the same time saying, why is this guy calling me? What are they doing? They're calling everybody. Do you understand what I'm saying? Got it. The vultures are at work. No problem. Every time that happened, my why, we got to get bigger. New milestones. We got to get bigger. New milestones. We got to get bigger. New milestones. Every time. And the market would be like, shit, they're still getting bigger. Damn, they're still getting bigger. Then when are they going to shrink? When is Pat going to slow down? They're waiting for you to slow down. They're waiting for you to slow down. Some of these guys could be your relatives, cousins, friends. They're waiting for you to slow down. Let me give you the second reason why you ought to choose to go out there and do the impossible this month and recreate yourself. I'll give you the next one here. The next one here is your people on your team. They're all waiting for the next person to do the next 25. You remember how that story with the one guy that didn't believe that I got the other guy that do 25 7 months in and he started doing 25 and my base shop blew up. Then I was a number one recruiting base shop. Your team is due for the next milestone on your team. By the way, you as the head coach of your base shop, your net VP team, your net BC team, it's on you to constantly create that, right? So the second why for me is always creating new standards. So you need new people performing at new levels they've never performed before. What is that for you? From the smallest MD watching this to the biggest MD, which is a senior board counsel, Paulo's watching this. What is that for you? And let me give you the third one. Here's a third one for me that drove the hell out of me, okay? Here's what the third one is for me. The third one for me is very simple, okay? I simply wanted to find out what the PBD on the other side of doing the impossible looks like, okay? My phone, if I were to show you my phone calls, my last 40 phone calls, I guarantee you, if you look at my last 40 phone calls, you're going to say, I can't believe who's calling Pat. And you know why they're calling me? Hey, man, oh, man, this guy I was talking to mentioned your name. He told me you're a killer and and I saw some of your stuff out there. We got to talk. When can we go out to dinner? And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at Jen. I'm like, I said, babe, who's calling you? I said, did you see this? It's craziness. Yeah. Wow. Insane, right? Why? Because every time I recreate myself on the other side, it's new experiences, new neighbors, new people show up. For you, I remember when I did that. I remember one time I was an MD and I made a run to go to VP. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go become a VP. And he was like, there's no way in the world we're going to become it was so impossible for me to become a VP. 99-cent store, dad, mom went back to Iran, 1.8 GPA. I'm about to join the army, back in the army. I was broke a couple of years ago. My credit score was 484, 495, 490. I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm hitting VP. There's no way I'm making $250,000. So I make $250,000. Okay. And I'm at this one event, I'm speaking. It's like a couple thousand people at, oh, Patrick Bet-David VP. One of the guys says, hey, somebody wants to meet you. Who's that? I get introduced to this guy who gets introduced to this guy who gets introduced to this guy. And eventually a guy gets recruited, guy named PK, who introduced me to a guy, says, hey, what are you doing Thursday night? I said, nothing. Says, I want to introduce you to somebody. Okay, they want to meet you. No problem. He says, it's a house in Calabasas, Hidden Hills. I'll go. 27 years old. I go to it. To my right is Morris Chestnut. I don't know if you guys know Morris Chestnut, the actor. Shamar Moore. All these guys are sitting. I'm like, oh, shoot. And it's like, hey, so who are you? Insurance executive. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's my friends. Man, I don't know a single friend of mine that's an insurance executive that doesn't make money. Hey, what's your name? Hey, get Pat a drink. You know. Oh, so this is what this looks like. And that was when I was 26, 27 years old, 28 years old. Then I said, I got it. Every time I upgraded, new experiences showed up. So let me sell you on this, why you ought to go do the number that you don't think it's possible right now. And other people are not going to see it's possible. One, believe on why you ought to do it with the right strategy. Two, your why needs to be strong, not just for the people that quit, not just for the people that are here that got to be upgraded, but for the sake of you meeting the person on the other end of you hitting that number. That for me is a top driver, just so some of you guys know or not. That's one of my biggest drivers. Let me continue. Next, before you guys hit these numbers, you cannot have a slow start coming out the gates, okay? Most people are like, oh, it's 31 days. Not if you have 0 recruits the first 2 days. Then May is only 29 days for you. May is only 31 days if you come out the gates 31 days. Ricky and Erica got 10 recruits on day one. To them, May is 31 days, okay? Which means a slow start can hurt you. You got to come out the gates. What's the next one? Here's the next one when we're talking about this. The next one is knowing the fact that throughout the process, it's not going to be smooth. Something's going to happen. Like, you know, in Man in the Arena, what, you know, he's winning that one champion. They're coming back to beat Atlanta. His mother ends up having cancer, is about to die. He's like, what are you talking about? Everything hitting at the same time. They go to the game. They're down 28-3. His mother's there. No hair. Stuff's not going to go yet right. But Tom Brady did the impossible, and he won in front of his mom and dad and parents and all the people who every day, the vultures who wait for Tom Brady to lose, but he wins because he did the impossible. How do you think history books are going to favor him? How do you think he meets who on the other side? No one's ever made a comeback like that. They call it the greatest Super Bowl of all time because he did the impossible. So you have to know something's going to happen with family or girl or boy, or, you know, something's going to happen. Don't expect this May to be perfect on your way to go there. I'm not trying to scare you. I just prepare it for myself so I don't use that as an excuse. And I anticipate sometimes when you want to do something big, the adversary doesn't want you to do. Do not be surprised. Someone's going to call you to confuse you. FYI, when quitters call, what do you think happens when all the things I just read you? Quitters confuse. Quitters unite, doers unite. Quitters are always louder than doers. Always remember this. So don't be surprised on the way to you wanting to do 4,000 recruits or 4 million or 1,000 or 250, whatever your impossible is to be in USA Today. Don't be surprised that some stuff's not going to go your way, okay? You have to keep that part of mind. Now, we talked about the fact that things won't be smooth. We talked about the fact that, Pelayo said something this morning, which is about underestimating. Don't underestimate the time that you have to put into to do the impossible. You got to give it your best. Some of you guys, the last 2 years, you forgot how to work hard. COVID made everybody lazier. You used to drive to appointments. Now you just say, let's just do Zoom. You actually used to work harder back in 2019, 2020. People are more casual today. They're not as urgent today. But it's easier to make money today, which means those who were hard workers who still end up working hard, you're going to make the million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, because the market's going to favor you more. You got to keep that part of mind. And then there's going to be some sacrifices you got to make. But above all of the stuff that I'm talking to you about, it comes down to the last one. Here's what the last one is. The being efficient is also very important. The fact that every RI, every call, everything counts. Here's the last one. The last one is, when I was a kid, I didn't have the most happiest life when I was a kid. Life was very rough when I was a kid. From 10 to 18 years old, it wasn't easy. It was very, very challenging. I'm sure many of you guys had it as well. I'm not the only one. You know how I would make myself look forward to something? It was always that one sound when the Lakers would play. Dun, 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 dun. It was that NBC song, Game on Sunday. I look forward to that. What does this mean to you? You bust your tail in May. You do the impossible. You recreate yourself. Because next month, many of us are going to Monaco. And in a couple months, we're going to Cabo. And in July, your name is going to be in USA Today. And then you're going to go to MGM Grand Arena and you're going to speak. Not just be somebody that's a 2-3 minute speaker or 5 minute speaker, but you may be a 10-minute, 15-minute, 20-minute speaker. You may even host, and maybe your kids are going to go on stage and speak. That's the kind of stuff that gets me to say, I'm going to go all in. While all the other people go home at 6 o'clock and they make excuses. Oh, something happened. I got an emergency, flooding in my house. Okay, bro. Yeah, I got an emergency. It's my 70-year-old version of PBD that's waiting for me to really get my act together because I don't want to disappoint that guy. And my future wife, my future kids are all anticipating for daddy to work hard, right? Even though I'm 27 years old and single. But go ahead and handle your plumbing stuff. I'm going to handle my plumbing stuff and why I'm losing more associates while I'm recruiting. Now I'm going to try to figure this plumbing out. You go figure out the other plumbing stuff. That plumbing stuff doesn't pay a lot. This plumbing stuff pays a lot. That was my mindset. And that's got to be the mindset of a handful of you guys here. You got to have something to look forward to. So let me finish off with the Sika story that I haven't shared with you guys. Sika calls me last week. It's 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night. We're having this conversation. And it's both of them. GQ. I got the couple in the flesh on a call. Hear both of them, right? Hey, Pat, we really want to have 250 people at MGM. And we've been really thinking, how should we do it? So I said, okay, I got a question for you guys. What's that? How many different ways can you have 40 associates? What do you mean? Okay. If you have 10 directs, each 3 deep, how many total associates do you have? Well, you got the 30 that are the deep plus the 10 is what, 40. Okay. Would you rather have 10 directs that are 3 deep? Or would you rather have 4 legs that are 10 deep or 9 deep? Oh, we take the first one. I would take the second one. Why? Because my associate count is going to be higher if I got multiple legs that are 10 deep. Let's do another one. Let's take 150 associates. Would you rather have 50 direct who are 3 deep? Or would you rather have 5 directs that are 30 deep? Which one would you rather take? Now they started understanding. I'll take the 5 directs that are 30 deep. So does this mean going wide is not important? No, no, no. You got to keep going wide. But if you want to increase your associate count from 10 to 25 to 50 to 100 to 200 to 300 people coming to meetings, you got to take legs deep. You got to get in the car and go to BMPs. You got to go people's houses and have 9 people sitting there and you're talking to 9 of them. You got to run appointments from morning till night on the same leg and keep taking it deep. Here's a point that I want to kind of tell you guys on how this thing's going to happen to do the impossible. It's going to happen by many of you guys going wide. Of course, you got to go wide, but it's going to happen by many of you committing to going deep in ways you've never gone deep before. You got a direct MD, but your MD's got an MD, your MD's got an MD. Get this person to do 50 recruits. They'll all do 50. Okay. Get this person to start competing. You got an FA who's got an FA who's got an FA. Get this FA to start doing things. Take that leg deep. Take a leg 10, 20, 30, 40 deep this month and see what happens. All of a sudden, you're going to look at the end of the month. You're going to be like, okay, our goal was 250, 250. We ended with 330 and 380. Wait, what? What the hell happened this month? That's what's going to happen. The part I'm most excited about is the following. Remember the guy that said, Pat, you're out of your mind. You're not going to do 25. There's some of you guys that are listening to me right now that you're still saying, Pat, ain't nobody going to do 4,000, 4 million this month. No problem. But I only need one person to believe it. Hey, Pat, there's no way Del Toro's or Vargas are going to do 2,000, 2 million. I just need one of them to believe it. Whether it's Del Toro or Vargas, I just need one of them to believe it. SOS, TCO, Pat, TCO's not going to do 1,000 million. SOS not going to, I just need one. Rick and Eric or Harsh to believe it. Gains, what are you talking about? Gains, they're not going to, I just need one of them to believe it. Solis, Sika, they're not going to do 250 recruits, 250,000 points. I need one of you to believe it. That's all it is. I need one of you to believe it. And that person who believes it, you become the leader of everybody else that follows you. There's a reason why Sapalas have been called the leaders of the rest of you, because they've led many of you. They raised the standards. The month of doing the impossible, it's going to come down to the few people who have the biggest belief, biggest why to go recreate themselves. Because by the end of the month, when May 31st comes and it's midnight, your time, those few people, hopefully you're part of that mix, they're going to sit there and they're going to be crying. And you're going to do a toast. It's going to be you and your base shop or your leaders in the office and you're emotional saying, freaking, hey, we pulled this off. You're going to sleep like a baby that night with the smile. You ever slept with a smile on your face? You've slept with a smile on your face. I've slept with a smile. Tico, you ever slept with a smile on your face? Because I have.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing like sleeping with a smile on your face because you crushed it that month. There's nothing like it. And I simply want to see many of you experience that end of the month when you go to sleep. That's all there is to it. So if you watched it till the very end, I want you in our MD group me, come and say, I watched the whole thing. This is what I took away from it. And tell me what you are committed to doing this month that's your impossible. Whether it's me coming to your office, tell me that's yours. Whether it's whatever it is, tell us what it is, but start early with tonight's BOM. Don't be somebody that's waiting till next week because you think you got all the time in the world. You don't. We only have 8 more days, 8 more days, including today, till close out for FA promotion. Because this month, we got a few closeouts. 10th is going to be one, 15th is going to be one, 31st is going to be one. That's 3 of them, not including your 9 BOMs, not including NIT 2 rounds, March Madness 2 rounds, Cabo being the last month, and the USA Today being here. There's a lot of stuff going on. I can't wait to see which of you guys will respond to the challenge that I just gave you in today's Zoom. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on the Leaders Bulletin.